Hello everyone and welcome to today's video where we are going to be going over our 10k to 100k portfolio challenge. Now this is a big change of content from what I usually do on this channel. Okay, you will know that if you have seen any of my content before, I am a trader, but this is something that I have a big interest in. I am fascinated and inspired by the crypto markets, and to build a portfolio is something that I really do enjoy doing. It's much more, again, it's a different change of pace, it's a different frame of mind to be going into, and it's something that I think I'm going to have a lot of fun doing, and I hope you guys will have a lot of fun following along. So, of course, this is something that I've spoken about. The portfolio itself I've been building over the past month, and I've given away, this is already public, okay, so I'll go over all of the information on how you can find this portfolio and stuff later on in the video. But this is just, yeah, basically going over what I've done over the past few weeks in starting to build this portfolio. And then what we'll do is I'm going to do a video update every week going over what I've bought, what I've sold, what I'm looking at, and giving you an update to where that portfolio is at, okay? So we do aim to hit that 100k target. We don't know when that's going to be. Obviously, the market can do some crazy things. So let's see how it goes. Like I said, it's going to be a bit of fun. So as always, a disclaimer before I start this video: I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say in this video or any other video is financial advice. You must always do your research, so do not go blindly following any of the things that I am doing within this video. Otherwise, that would just be a bit silly. Table of contents, points to discuss. We're going to be going over the preparation, the capital allocation, the golden rules, the portfolio itself, and how I'm going to be taking profit and cutting losers. Okay. First of all, preparation. So I'm going to be using 10k of my 2022 trading profit to build a buy and hold crypto portfolio. Assets will be held across the following exchanges and wallets: Bybit, Coinbase, KuCoin, and MetaMask. So capital allocation, the total 10k USDT investment. Now this is 10k of my trading profits for the year. 5k initial allocation, which will be spent immediately. So over the past few weeks, I have spent that. The remaining $5,000 will be spent strategically across the remainder of Q4 2022. But I do have to spend it by the end of the year, regardless of what the market does. There's no point holding on to this USDT. Whatever the market does, I will be spending the remainder of that 5k, and then that will be the USDT fully allocated. Any profits can be reallocated at any time. So that means if something goes and has a crazy run and does a 10x, then I can sell that, put it back into USDT, and distribute that into other assets to kind of enhance the portfolio. Okay. Golden rules. So I am looking at small to mid caps only. Okay, I do not have an interest in buying any of the larger caps. So anything within the top 10, probably even the top 20, I am going to be staying clear of. We're aiming for a 10x on this portfolio. We're just not going to get that from large caps. I am looking at tokens that are less than 3 years old. Okay, so I am also not interested in anything that was around during the 2017 to 2018 bull run. I really don't care about those things. They've had their run. They've had their second run. Going into a third market cycle, it's unlikely again that you're going to see those large returns, which is really what we're aiming for. And also, this is what makes it interesting. I want to be looking at stuff that is new and stuff that is interesting, stuff that is innovative, not stuff that's already kind of done its thing and is now maybe on the way out of the market. Okay, I'm looking for sensible user utility and tokenomics. So tokenomics, massively important. Okay, I really want to be looking at things that have at least a lot of their supply circulating already. That would be ideal. Now, it doesn't have to be. That's not like a golden rule for me. But if there is a low circulating supply, I'll be very aware that I want to just flip that quite quickly. And also things that are deflationary or low inflation in essence. So that means that they're not just going to be pumping new tokens into the ecosystem and then deflating the value of the currency itself. We want to make money on these things. We do not want tokens that are just being thrown into circulation and then reducing the price of everything. Okay, so good tokenomics on that is very important, and sensible user utility. So I'm not really looking at anything that too many people can make use of. In all honesty. Okay, so if we're looking at a token that, say, enables people really easily to buy a coffee on their Starbucks app or something, it's not going to make money. Okay, you're not looking at like a native token that like millions of people can use. That's not going to be giving growth. Okay, you want things almost to be a little bit difficult to get hold of, a little bit difficult to use still at this stage, because we're all about making money here. Spot only, no leverage. I guess that's kind of obvious. This is a portfolio, so there will be no leverage involved. A maximum of 10 tokens in the portfolio at any one time, and every token will have a minimum of 500 initial allocation. So that means that there may be something that I buy that I spend $500 on, and it ends up going to zero and it's not worth anything. But that initial allocation must be $500, and I can only be holding a maximum of 10 tokens at any one time. That stops the portfolio becoming too diluted, too hard to follow. And yeah, it just means that you're putting like a decent amount of money, so that you're not just kind of putting in a tenner and getting like $20 or $30 back. Again, we want to be going for growth of the whole portfolio, not just small little bits and a massively diluted portfolio there. I will be taking, as I said, taking profit if a token enters the top 10. I don't know how much profit that's going to be. I'll just have to make a decision at the time. If a market cap becomes high and it enters into that top 10 of the coin market cap or on CoinGecko, then I will be taking profit and I will be reallocating that profit elsewhere. So, into the portfolio then, straight away. This will come as no surprise to anyone. This is the anchor of the whole portfolio. So this is QNT, Quant Network. Now, I've done all of the presentation as I did the investment. Okay, so all of the pictures and everything that you'll be seeing here is as I did the initial investment. So the cost of Quant, my average cost of entry here was $92. We are obviously a lot higher than that at the moment, but I bought 20 QNT at $92 each, which was a total investment of $1,840. So from that initial 10K, I was then left with $8,160 remaining. Okay, I am looking at take profit levels between 194, which gives me a nice kind of 2x, 240 and 360. Again, this isn't exact. These are just levels that from a technical basis seem to make sense to me, and that I will consider taking profit as we get up into them. Again, you'll know if you've been following for a while that we're basically at that first target now, so this might be I may have to start considering some profit taking on QNT very soon. So I bought this on Coinbase. This is not only the anchor of my 10K to 100K challenge portfolio, this is like the anchor of my own personal portfolio as well. I do own quite a lot of QNT tokens, and this is a project that I do genuinely believe in, and I do genuinely believe is a very big opportunity right now, even if prices are starting to get to that point where probably a little bit late for an accumulation. But let's see how things go. So let's talk about the actual token itself then. Okay, so QNT, Quant QNT is used to power the Overledger, which aims to connect public blockchains and DeFi to private networks and traditional finance. The Overledger can act as a gateway for any blockchain-based project to access all other blockchains. Quant Network also allows the creation of MDApps that enable decentralized applications to operate on multiple blockchains at once. Their main objective is to connect blockchain with traditional finance in order to reach the masses. So think about the way that crypto works right now. It is very, very fragmented, okay? It's like the internet in like the 80s, 90s, okay? It's just little kind of closed off networks. So if you think of Ethereum, if you think of Polkadot, if you think of Solana, if you think of Binance Smart Chain, each of those is a network into itself, and it's very awkward at the moment, not impossible, but it's awkward to transfer and communicate between different networks. So what QNT, what Quant is doing already, not just aims to do, they are doing this, is they are starting to connect these blockchains together by using the Overledger. Now, this is something that just kind of encompasses any blockchain, all the technology that's there. It will allow dApps and applications to operate on multiple blockchains at any one time. So that means that you can be playing a game on the Ethereum ecosystem, and then getting NFTs from the Solana system into that game at the same time, like seamlessly throughout the two. So that's one major thing that it's doing. And it is also connecting into traditional finance. So this means CBDCs, okay, which are going to be a massive talking point as we go into the next stage of this market, okay. Central bank digital currencies are going to happen. They are inevitable, okay. So whether you are bullish on crypto or not, Quant Network is almost a no-brainer, really, because it is the one that is going to be building these CBDCs. Going into the tokenomics, okay. 92% circulating supply. That's really, really good. This is a very new token and it's almost entirely circulating. So they have a 14.6 million maximum supply and 13.4 of that is already circulating. Now, if you compare that to maybe competitors such as XRP or Link, I don't really think that Quant has a competitor as such, but I think these are probably the two closest ones, at least from a community perspective, that people talk about. They each only have 50% of their supply currently circulating. So they can inflate that supply even more, which then brings the value of that token down even more. Quant is kind of stuck, okay? It is literally supply and demand from this point onwards. Now, this goes into my next point, where is a supply shock already happening? So Binance and Bybit and KuCoin, during the initial kind of bull market phase last year, QNT did have quite a nice run up. It did a 10x, okay. I profited quite well from that. It did a 10x and they were offering derivatives. Now, since that moment, okay, they have withdrawn all of the futures and derivatives trading. So you cannot trade this this asset with leverage anymore because they lack supply. Okay, so in order for an exchange to offer a derivative of a product, it has to hold enough supply of that product. Exchanges cannot get hold of enough supply of this. Now, this is such a huge thing that people are really overlooking. There is not enough of this token going around to feed the demand for it. So even if exchanges wanted to offer derivatives, they're not able to hold enough of it because people are buying it and they're snapping it up from the exchanges very quickly. So that is a really big plus point for myself. Okay, so they do not have a USDT perpetual, which means you can't short it. So it makes it quite attractive as an investment, right? The other really good thing about this, there aren't any big, like massive whale holders, okay? So the top 100 wallets only own 80, the top 100 wallets only earn 38% of the total supply, okay? And again, you compare that to XRP. Top 100 wallets on XRP own 79% of the supply, and the top 100 wallets on Link own 73% of the supply. There is not a single individual wallet that owns over 1% of the supply of QNT. The largest wallets are Binance, which hold around about 7% of the supply, and then KuCoin, which holds around about 3% of the supply. And then everything else is very, very much evenly distributed between holders. There are also only 7,000 holders of this token. They're also a very unique technology. Interoperability is something that you are going to hear spoken about so much. QNT basically are the ones that have been pioneering that, as far as I'm aware. You'll notice a theme as we go later on into the into this presentation that interoperability plays a big part in my whole portfolio right now. So yeah, there's no direct competition. The Overledger CBDCs, QRC721 tokens, so these are going to be like ERC20 tokens. They're going to be creating their own token platform where NFTs and things can live within that platform, and they will be available on any blockchain. Okay, so QRC721 can be connected to polkadot ecosystem, can be connected to Binance Smart Chain, can be connected to the ERC20, and so on. Okay, so if we're looking at this very simply as reaching the market cap of some of its competitors, okay, to reach the market cap of XRP, for example, you're looking at a price per token of $1,800. Now, remember, the initial allocation here was $92. So this is just for this to get to the market cap of XRP. Not saying that's going to happen. XRP is a behemoth of crypto. But to get there, it would be worth $1,800. Now, one that's a bit more realistic, okay, Link. Okay, we're looking at $280 for QNT to flip Link effectively. Now, that I'm fairly confident will happen. Now, as I say, we're already kind of halfway there. But I do think that Link is going to be a major target. So that's QNT. That's the one that I'm going to talk the most about in this whole video. So don't worry, the rest I'm just going to breeze through a little bit. As I said, QNT is the anchor of the whole portfolio, and that is the one that is the main thing right now for this. Next up, we have EGLD, Elrond. Okay, so I bought this on Bybit. I consider this to be a mid cap. Okay, it's number 44 on CoinMarketCap. And it's been in a really nice zone of accumulation. So I have an average entry on this of $47. I have bought 20 EGLD, and that was at a total cost of $940. So that brings my total remaining allocation for this down to $7,220. I have targets here. So from that $47 investment, I have targets of $100 and $200. Nice and simple. Okay, you've got a 382 lining up there with some resistance, and you've got a 618 lining up here with a nice order block and some resistance up at the highs. So again, I'm not saying I'm going to sell it when we get to that point, but that's when I'll start to consider taking profit on this. So these are longer term holds. These are not just quick flips so far on here. So the reason why I have added EGLD to my portfolio. So Elrond is a layer 1 blockchain which aims to be faster, cheaper, and more efficient than the competition. Elrond network uses adaptive state sharding and its unique secure proof of stake consensus mechanism to offer industry-leading scalability. God, I can't read. This makes it a good choice for developers who require high transaction frequencies and low fees across a complex network. 75% of its circulating supply. So again, that's pretty good. So it has a maximum supply of 31.5 million tokens, and there are currently 23.5 in circulation. Now, if you compare that to Cardano, for example, it's very similar to Cardano, but other layer ones that are maybe competition, you're looking at Dot, Sol, and Atom all have an unlimited supply. So layer one protocols represent a good long-term investment, but have a lot of competition. So this is something that we do have to be a little bit careful of. Generally speaking, you have one ecosystem that'll do well, and then it will flow into another, and then it will flow into another, and then it will flow into another. So Elrond is not something I'm looking to hold for a long period of time. It is something that I think can see some growth soon. And then we're probably looking at scaling out of that and into something else within the next few months. Low market cap. Okay, market cap is low in comparison to its competition. The chart looks more settled. The majority of supply is traded. Okay, so this means that, again, we're not looking at massive whales holding this. Most of the supply, most of the big wallets are exchange wallets, and it has very good volume on exchanges. Scalability. EGLD most closely resembles the development made on ETH 2.0, but it is still more scalable and will be compared. So as we go into this new phase or this new kind of era of Ethereum, I think the comparisons between EGLD and ETH will start to increase. People will realize maybe that ETH still has some shortfalls here. The fees aren't going down. They're not going to be going down for quite a while. Whereas on EGLD, the fees are already very low. The speed is already very fast. So for developers maybe looking at where they want to build, Elrond still at the moment may be the more attractive proposition, and investors may see that as being the case and may therefore choose to buy Elrond rather than Ethereum. Okay. So if you're looking at this as reaching the market cap of close competitors, say Cardano or Atom, you're looking at, if it reaches the market cap of Cardano, then you're looking at $620 per token. Again, like with XRP on the last one, Cardano is huge. Okay, we're not really looking at that happening, but it is something just to use as a kind of a benchmark for where this may be at. If it starts to get close, then you know you're probably not in a position where you want to be holding this. Atom a little bit better. Okay, Atom is maybe more of a competitor to this. So $156 if it can reach the market cap of Atom, which is a good 3x on the initial investment there. That is EGLD Elrond. Now on to the next one. We have Moonbeam, GLMR. Okay, now this is a low cap. It is 141 on CoinMarketCap. It currently has a market cap of $189 million. Okay, so I did my initial investment of 1,200 GLMR Moonbeam tokens at 46 cents per token, which was a total investment there of $552, which brings my pool of USDT down to $6,668 overall on this. Okay, I have targets of $1.80 and $4.20. Going into the reasons for this one. So Moonbeam is an Ethereum compatible smart contract protocol that aids developers in building interoperable applications. That word, interoperability, again, is going to be a theme. It resides on the Polkadot chain and promises cross-chain interoperability between Polkadot and Ethereum. It was largely overlooked in the last market cycle as the Canary networks Moonriver and Kusama gained greater market share. By Canary networks, basically Moonriver and Kusama were the test networks. So Kusama was the test network for Polkadot, so testing applications and blockchain stuff on the Polkadot network before it went onto Polkadot, and Moonriver was the testing basically area for Moonbeam. They actually had a lot more hype during the last cycle. Okay. However, Moonbeam looks set to benefit from a number of projects now fully running on DOT and on Ethereum. The Moonbeam ecosystem is already operational and thriving while staying under the radar for most investors. Cross-chain, all the benefits of Ethereum with the speed and innovation of DOT. Staking. GLMR tokens can be staked for up to 200% APY. I have been staking my GLMR tokens with Moonriver tokens, with Solar tokens, and with Akala tokens for the past year. And I've been getting a better APY off of those than Luna was back in the last cycle. So this has been, again, going under the radar, but very, very good. So yeah, a 200% APY on some of these tokens that you can stake using the Moonbeam network. It has a low market cap, okay? The market cap is low in comparison to the competition. So the market cap for this, if we are looking at Kusama being the Canary network for DOT, you'd be looking at 96 cents per GLMR token. Okay, so that's it's basically double where we're at on this at the moment. Now, if you're going to go aiming for the DOT market cap, which is unlikely because Polkadot is the main thing here, then you'd be looking at a market cap there of $18.54. So that is Moonbeam, that is GLMR token. Next up, we have Router Protocol. Okay, so we're just going to whiz through these last ones. So I do have, I've bought 200 Root at $2.80 each for a total investment of $560, which brings my allocation or my remaining allocation of USDT down to $6,108. I have targets here at $5.50 and $8.50. Okay. And this is a little bit about Root. Okay, so it is a new player. All right, it's a very new, this year, basically, born in the bear market. It has only 2,500 holders at currently, and 50% of the supply is already circulating. So it's pretty good. Like, for a new token to already be at 50% circulating supply is fairly decent. Problem solver. It removes the need to switch between networks, which has long been a problem for users. So interoperability again. What Root is aiming to be is almost like the Uniswap or the Sushi Swap across all markets. So it's just, if you want to switch an ERC20 token into a Binance Smart Chain token, it's very seamless, it's very quick, and the fees are very low. So you use the Router token in order to pay the fees. Strong utility, okay? Token can be used to pay fees in any transaction and is always 4 times cheaper regardless of the network. Scaling, so cross-chain swaps represent the first application, but the project aims to create dApps that can be used on all chains. So whereas at the moment they're just looking at those swaps, they will be creating dApps. So in a similar way to maybe what QNT might be doing, that can be used across any chain. So if we're looking at it becoming similar market cap to Uniswap, which is the biggest swapping service, I guess, within crypto, you'd be looking at a total cost per token of $650. We're not saying that's going to happen, but that it gives you a good benchmark to be looking at. And Rune, which is maybe a closer competitor, which does a similar thing, swaps between networks, then $62 per token is what you're looking at there. Next up, we have Alliance Block. Okay, so this is something that had quite a lot of hype just towards the end of the last bull run, but because it came out just towards the end of the last bull run, it never really realized that hype and that potential. It's a lot about interoperability again. We'll go over that in just a second. So for this, I've bought 13,500 ALBT tokens for a cost of 0.38. 3.8 cents each, which was a total investment of $513, which takes my USDT allocation down to 5,595. I have targets here of 8 cents and 20 cents. Basically, those are just some pretty good initial targets based on the technicals here. Okay, so Alliance Block, it has a very low market cap. It's ranked at 675, which is very low for an asset that already has a lot of social media attention. However, it does only have 23% of its circulating supply. So we can basically say it's got a lot more supply to come. This isn't something that I want to be holding for a long period of time, but I do think it gives us it's enough to boost this portfolio fairly early on. I think this is going to go on a pretty good run because, as we've seen with QNT doing very well, as I'm going to go over, it's within that same kind of ecosystem, similar kind of concept, and I think it can do very well once the hype maybe starts to kick in around this whole interoperability thing. So what it is doing is basically connecting crypto to traditional finance. Okay, it aims to act like the Bloomberg terminal for crypto assets within legacy markets, bringing DeFi to Wall Street. So we are going to be fairly soon seeing that crypto assets will be able to be traded, derivatives of them, spot of them in basically legacy brokers. Okay, and this is to be able to connect the two together, to be able to enable brokers from Wall Street and within traditional markets to trade digital assets is what Alliance Block is mainly focusing on. They have no major exchange, so ALBT is not listed on any major exchanges apart from KuCoin, but I'm not really saying that's a massive major. But this has been intentional according to the founders, and it is almost inevitable that Coinbase are going to list this fairly soon. Really good partnerships, so they're working closely with QNT, Link, and other digital assets, and they are linking with banks such as NatWest in order to link DeFi with traditional finance. So to get to the market cap of QNT and Link, I don't think that's likely, but what you'll be looking at is pretty major gains towards the upside. There's not really much competition I can be looking for around what this is doing at the moment. So this is the best. But that's like, what is that? 100x to get to QNT's, more than 100x to get to QNT's market cap, and 200x basically to get to Link's market cap. We'll see what happens. I do think that because it's a very low market cap here, there is room to grow for certain. The last one that we have is CMP, Caduceus. So this, I bought 2,000 CMP tokens for 25 cents each, and I was looking, and that was an initial investment of $500. Now this has actually gone down. This is the one that really hasn't performed very well. I think we're sat down at around about 18 cents at the moment, but this is very, very new. This is the newest token out of all of the ones I'm mentioning. Okay, so it looked quite nice. It was very, very flat and very, very sideways, but it did just fall apart recently with that last little dip we had in the market. So there's a reaccumulation going on lower. Let's see if that's low enough in order to get prices pushed back up again. But to me, it represents very, very low risk. Okay, you can see here 2,683 market cap, and yeah, very low market cap on this again. So CME, it is a Metaverse dedicated blockchain. It says it's the first dedicated blockchain for the Metaverse. It will be focusing on microtransactions and immediate transfers on ERC20. So it will be connecting ERC20 blockchain to enable those tiny transactions that you want to have high frequency. So again, if you're interacting with another player and you want to sell them an apple in the Metaverse, you're not going to be wanting to pay high gas fees, and you want to be able to get that instantly coming across. Okay, so this is something that they're aiming to do, which is just getting those fees and those transfers really quick. So it's very much focused towards Metaverse and towards that gaming aspect of the blockchain. It is a microcap AKX ranked 2976, but with no confirmed circulating supply. It does represent more risk, but it is still low value. It's a 2022 launch, okay? It was born in the bear market. These tokens represent low risk as they have not yet had a market cycle, and it is a mining token, okay? So the tokens for CMP can be mined using GPUs. Now, if people are using the Metaverse and it's you're targeting those gamers, then to be able to mine the token whilst you are in the Metaverse, whilst you are playing these blockchain games, that's a really good perk, and that could really help to build the ecosystem and to build a community around this asset. So that's pretty cool. I think that it is one of those few remaining mineable tokens that I think will be able to get a bit of hype behind it. If you're looking at market cap, well, you can't. Okay, we don't know really what the market cap is for this, but you'd be looking at the likes of Gala and Sol as being the majors that would be competitors to this. But again, we're not really saying that it's going to reach that kind of market cap, but they're just good ones to use as a ballpark figure. So that is the portfolio so far. We also have some on the watch list. So these are things that I'm closely watching. With the mid caps, I'm looking at Algo, DAG, so Algorand, DAG Constellation, HBAR, Hedera. So I have made an investment in Hedera in my own personal portfolio, but I've not yet added that to this portfolio. I'll see how that goes. It is something that I'm very closely watching. And Cadena are my mid caps that I'm watching for this. With the small caps, I'm looking at Flux, Casper, I'm very interested in, LCX Exchange, and Woo Network. Woo Network's not been doing so well recently, but this is why it's on the watch list. And on the microcaps, I'm looking at LF0, A0, ENQ, Enicum, Get Protocol, and Unizen. Now, Unizen had a massive pump last week. In fact, this is one that is, again, in my personal portfolio, but not yet made its way over onto this portfolio yet. Okay, so that gives you the starting portfolio here. And you can see that is half of the USDT allocated, near enough, okay, 5,095 USDT remaining. I bought $1,840 of QNT. I bought $976 of EGLD. I bought $576 of Glimmer, $560 of Root, $513 of Alliance Block, and $500 of Caduceus CMP, okay? And how the portfolio is looking right now. So as of today, okay, the portfolio, this is blanked out. Why is this? Sorry, I'm on the presentation screen here. If I make this wider, is it going to work? No, you can't actually see it. But I believe if I was to close this up, we're looking at 11,856.71. The total profit on here is 1,791.71. Okay, so I don't know why this has cut off some of the screen. It's just done that. I'm not going to re-record this bit, but there you go. The link for the portfolio itself is in the description below. So if you would like to see the actual value of the portfolio, how it currently is, then please do click the link on that. As you can see, QNT has been absolutely going crazy. I'm up 86% on this, so that really has been very, very good. Alliance Block has also been very decent. That's had a very recent move on here. And if you were to see Caduceus down here at the bottom, you'd see I'm actually down on this right now. But that's okay. That's all part of it. So anyway, I will be updating this on a weekly basis, and I will be letting you guys know. Make sure you are following on Twitter, because I'm going to be going over all of the smaller things on Twitter I'll also do some additional things on the fundamentals as to into some of these altcoins as well on here. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope again that was interesting for you, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye.